How'd you feel?
Fine, excited, looking forward to it. Love these events. Running a flat road 10k. That's what I enjoy best.
So where are they, John?
Pulford, Cheshire. Wales is about half a mile down there. It's been a late decision to enter this race. On Tuesday, I did a 200 metres repeat session and absolutely rinsed myself. Then the next day, watching Andy Rayner, the FOD Runners' upcoming race preview, I remembered that this race was on. Checked, they were doing transfers right up to the day before, so in I was. Bit of a special one this for me, as it will be my last ever race in the male 50 category. Good to catch up with the one and only Connor Rogers before the start. Do subscribe to his channel and check out his race video. So great vibe before this race, fantastic atmosphere. We've done Run Cheshire races before, the Mid Cheshire 5k being one of them, and it was also really great to bump into Andy Rayner, Forest of Dean runner. I know he's been chasing sub 33 for a while, just missed out on Bourton-on-the-Water 10k that I did also. So would today be his day for that magic sub 33? Can't wait to watch his video when it comes out. I felt I had a decent warm-up today, just over a mile. It's quite a long way to the start from where we part. Drills and strides, and I felt nice and fresh and ready for the start of this race.
A few runners cutting it short to get to the line. They're shouting they're going to start, and there's still some runners coming up. Go quickly, go quickly. Oh dear, the start is going to happen, and I think there's still runners coming up to start. I'm not sure if they're going to make it.
I mean, who wouldn't make the start of a race like this?
That's the start, and you're going that way.
We're just waiting for the last couple I can see on the corner.
I think they are allowing them to go. Yes, good. Looks like they are going to be able to start. That's good.
4, 3, 2, 1. Have a good race.
Absolutely stacked field today, because this race doubled up as a qualifier, I think, to get into the Great Britain team for the 10k squad. So some really fast runners on display today. And as me just going through, they did say that there was a cut-off here for 50 minutes, as the race organisers need to reopen the road at 10:20 a.m. So back on the start line, waiting in nervous anticipation with hundreds of other runners, and we are off. And I'm just going to go over the chip mat and start my watch. Now, if you watched coverage of our session we did on Tuesday, the 200, you'll know I didn't actually start the session as programmed into my watch right at the beginning. And today, as you can see, I'm fiddling around because I've knocked the screen. It's gone to some different other metric, and I took about 15 seconds before I could start recording. But eventually we get all our ducks in a row. We've got to the race starts on time. We've now got our watch running, and we're off on the Pulford 10k 2025. So yes, after this first initial stretch of about 200 yards, we are off onto what is called the Magic Triangle. I think that's a 3.5 mile loop that during COVID, during lockdown, the organisers actually put on a marathon, which must have been about 7.5 loops of this. Today's race is a little bit of the start and then 2 loops of this Magic Triangle. You can see the paths are nice and wide. There's enough space to get through if you want to. We are on something now called the Straight Mile, I believe. So yeah, settling nicely into pace, just moving around people where I need to, and feeling okay. So let's talk about goals for this race, and we're going into the C, B and A goals. So my C goal was to try and race quicker than I did at Bourton-on-the-Water 4 weeks ago, I think, and I did a time there of 40 minutes and 48 seconds. That was a C goal. The B goal was to try and run a comeback PB, which I set at Wilmslow, also in Cheshire, back in November, and that time was 40 minutes and 21 seconds. And of course the A goal, and we're still striving to get there, is that sub 40, the first one I would have done since the year 2017. I know I'm in shape to do it. In fact, my Coros tantalisingly told me I am in 39:59 shape. So thank you, Coros, for dangling that carrot in front of me. But that would be, if all the stars align, the right race, the right day, the right me. So let's see how we're getting on this first kilometre. By the way, the reason we've got a lot of footage of this first kilometre, and I'll warn you now, at the end of this kilometre, the camera just ran out of memory, and so we've had to put together a race video, because obviously got Dawn out on the course taking clips. We've got this coverage, There was nicely a camera at the end taking footage of all the runners finishing. So yeah, we're into the first kilometre and I know I'm doing okay at present. So what's your favourite type of race? Mine is the road 10k, as I said earlier. In recent times we've been to Wilmslow, we've been to Knutsford, we've been to Telford, we've been to East Hull, we've been to Brigg over in Lincolnshire. I'm always on the lookout for fast road 10ks. So drop a comment below if you know of a fast 10k in your area you think we might enjoy and I might enjoy in particular taking part in. And I'm enjoying taking part in a race on this famous Magic Triangle. So looking back at my Strava, it says that this entire race included 39 feet of elevation. There's a slight drag, I think, when you get to about 2k, but nothing to write home about. You certainly don't have to change your running form at all. Yes, everybody has their favoured race distance, and for me it's always been a 10k. For me it's the ideal blend of endurance, of strength, of race tactics, of pace judgment, of your own personal judgment, of your own energy levels. And it's in the middle between obviously a 5k and a 3k where you can work at those paces to improve it. It's also just a bit slower obviously than half marathon and marathon distances, so you can work at those paces too. You always know you're in good shape if you can run a good 10k. So yes, reflecting on my last race in the veteran 50 category before I move up another level, my first ever race back in 1999 was a 10k, a mere slip of a lad of 29 years old. I ran 53.18 that day, so I'm really pleased, what is it now, 26 years later, to be still racing 10Ks, to be still enjoying them, still putting the effort in, and long may that continue, as we say, keep on keeping on.
So the race is off and they are well into the race by now, and I'm standing at the 5k point so I can see what time John goes through halfway at and see if he's on for that sub 40. As you can see on the road, it's quite wet in places. There's quite a few puddles. We had quite a lot of rain last night, so it does actually feel quite humid this morning. I don't know if John will feel the same, but when I was just running up the road, I felt it was quite humid. So hopefully that won't affect his run today.
No, it did not affect his run today.
But otherwise, conditions are really, really good actually. There's hardly any breeze. In fact, the trees are still. Cool. Nice conditions. I'd love to be running in these conditions today. I should have entered, shouldn't I? Maybe next year. Oh, here comes the lead bikes and the lead runners.
So I still entertained you with people running at about 3 minutes per kilometre. I'll let you what it's now to run at about 4 minutes per kilometre. My legs weren't bringing their A game today. I was more like my B game, and I knew I was going to struggle to break that 40-minute barrier. So my splits for the first 5 kilometres were as follows. As you can see, too many over 4, only one under 4. Doesn't look like we're heading for sub 40, does it?
Yeah, I've got it, hold it. Jake, stop the camera.
All right, I'll get it.
It's falling off.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jake Smith. Cheers, thank you.
So in case this ever appears on A Question of Sport, what happened next? I had taken my cap off because the camera had stopped working and to throw it to Dawn. Unfortunately, the camera had fallen out at the feet of the one and only Jake Smith, who was spectating, who kindly picked it up and handed it back to Dawn. So there we go.
Thank you, Jake Smith. Well, I was stood there, and as John came through, I kind of knew he wasn't on for sub 40 at that point, but I know John, and I know he can pick it up in the second half because he does tend to sometimes, I think, set off quite steady. Anyhow, we will see. Did he pick it up in the second half, and did he get that sub 40?
Well, my watch told me I went through 5k in 2011. So I'd have to have a pretty significant negative split to get sub 40. And to be honest, my legs were still feeling heavy. I think the effect of that session on Tuesday was still with me. I had DOMS about 3 days, and then I was just feeling heavy sort of Saturday and Friday. But if we only ever did races where we felt 9 or 10 out of 10, we wouldn't get very far, would we? So let's push on.
Go on, John! Through the second line!
2 people behind Josh with Ollie.
So the second half, pretty much as the first half, just a few seconds agonisingly outside where I needed to be on each kilometre, but we've held it together and should end with a pleasing time. My last race as a 50-year-old. So anyway, we gave it a good go. You know, kept at it as you saw from the split. Just didn't have fifth gear, probably had gear 4.3.
From my point of view, it was really good race to watch as a spectator. 2 laps, obviously, or they call the magic triangle. Yeah, so yeah, great spectator course and great spectator support out there, actually. Enjoyed that.
Definitely recommend it if you're after a fast 10k. Get yourself to Pulford next year.
Although you have to be, apparently the cut-off is sub 50, so I probably would just about make it. So I might do it next year, who knows?
And silly old me had forgotten to collect my medal at the finish line, so I had to go back for that and my goodies.
Success?
A medal and 2 flapjacks. Make a good running autobiography for that, wouldn't it? So how do I feel about this? Well, obviously I would have loved a sub 40, but I'm not walking away from the Pulford 10k disappointed. Sometimes you have to measure these things in your ability to get into the race, to be at the start line, to complete the course, to give your all. Also the friendships you make and the connections you make through this wonderful sport of running. And that's the memory I'm going to take away from the Pulford 10k 2025. A good solid performance, pleasing, hit my C goal but not my B and my A goal. So if you want to see how I do get on in chasing that A goal next time at the Salford 10k in a few weeks time, then please subscribe to the channel. So until next time, keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.